Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page where I do this daily live stream all around the divination card that I draw in the morning. And that divination card, gives us good information about the most important energy that's flowing today for us to know about, but it also sparks a spiritual conversation, which I just love. So welcome. Today is Saturday. Yay, Saturday. That's April 27th. And I have to say, it's cold and cloudy and windy here. We're supposed to be getting, we have some flurries right now. I wouldn't even, it's really light flurries. The storm is actually going south of us by quite a ways. So I don't think we're going to be getting much of anything. Yeah. Oh, I got to fix my chair here to get comfortable. Yeah, that end of April snowstorm. I guess Michigan is supposed to get it too, from what I understand. But it is cold. It really is. So I'm going to share and like our news stream or live stream right now. And it's just going to take me a second. I invite you to do the same, is to share it to your newsfeed or maybe just to one friend. That's good too, right? I know we're here somewhere. There we are. So I'm going to love it. And I'm going to write a post to my newsfeed, just letting my friends know that I'm live streaming. There we go. And then asking them to please join us. There. That's done. Doesn't take long. Doesn't take much. There we go. I'll turn down my sound. There. Let's see who's in the chat. Julie's here. Julie Shumway Hill's here. Yay, Julie. Thank you for being here on a Saturday. I know that you said that you guys are going to get like 1 to 3 inches, but I'm wondering, has it changed? Because it seems that storm system moved much further south. At least south of I-90 is what they're saying up here, and that everybody but kind of laughs about that, because if the storm is going to break in a certain direction, it usually breaks south of the interstate. Because where I live in Toma, Wisconsin, is where the interstate divides. We have 90-94, and then it divides at Toma, right? So you can go to the left, I think that's 90, and you can go into Minnesota that way, and that will take you to La Crosse. It's a little bit further southwest. If you go straight, 94 will take you through Eau Claire into Minnesota, but you're going northwest rather than southwest. And yeah. So anyway, that's where we live. And the storm systems seem to follow that pattern as well. Makes you wonder, right, about energy and how the energy is tracking along man-made or human-made highways, and how much energy that carries, right? Yeah, sounds kind of cool. Rochelle says, "Hello, Neshi. When I woke up and got out of bed, I stepped on my foot like I normally do. I broke my toe next to the." Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! And all in that forward motion. Oh my gosh! So was that on the left or right foot? Rochelle, is that, and I guess it really doesn't matter in some ways, because it's all about forward motion. I broke my toe next. So left or right foot, Rochelle? And thank you for sharing, by the way. Yeah. And it just started, Julie saying this, flakes. Hopefully you guys won't get too much. Yeah. Makes you wonder, huh, Rochelle? Yeah, she's saying her left foot. Her left foot. Yeah, it's all about that forward motion, right? That forward motion. Did you do your grounding today? Yeah. I have my Merkaba, so, that's done automatically. And what I need to do is turn my attention to it, right? And sense the Merkaba field around me. And that's my grounding. I can do further grounding if I wanted to, just to get the, that sensation, right? That feeling. But technically my Merkaba does all of that for me. And so, that's nice, especially on days when I'm really, really busy, and I could use that extra oomph, right? there's my Merkaba to give me a hand, right? Oh, well, then I would pause just a moment, right, Rochelle, because you know how to do this. Is to take a few moments to do your grounding. It'll help you. Be very helpful. Yeah. So we had a busy morning around here. Saturdays usually are, because Paul's first day off from work, and we got lots of running around to do, errands and working in the yard and that kind of stuff. That's stuff he likes to do. But this morning it was all about George. The trainer that we had working with George when George was just 3 and 4 months old, 5 months old. Her name's Laura. She owns King's Creatures, and she is a trainer. And so she has started, I don't even know what to call them. And I'm sure she has a name for them, but they're like gatherings. They're like doggy meetups. And so we go to pet-friendly, dog-friendly businesses. And so here in Toma, the one business that is pet-friendly, and that is Tractor and Supply. And so there's about, I don't know, six of us or so with our canines. We met there, and it was the first time to do that here in Toma. And so it's a chance to be able to practice, the commands and that kind of thing, and more socialization for the dogs, and get to meet other dogs, and and so it talk about mixed breeds. There was a whole bunch of different dogs there, and George did really, really well. He did. There was one great. I think Chewy is a pit bull lab, I think, and those two got along really well. And they, Chewy just turned a year, and George has just turned 9 months, and so they're very close in age. Not quite in the size, because Chewy is probably about another third bigger than George, but they got along really well. Yeah, so he had a good time. I got a couple pictures for you guys. I thought maybe you'd like to see them. He did get a treat. He got a new teddy bear because he really wrecked the other one. And so he got his new teddy bear while we were at Farm and Fleet. Tractor and Supply. And here we are, we're in the dog food aisle. He doesn't necessarily eat this dog food, but we were supposed to do a down, a sit or a full down, and for him to hold it for 10 seconds. And that was no problem for him. Yeah. That's George. And this is numerology. I got this package in the mail yesterday, and look at all those 7s and all those 5s. And I got 555 and triple and quadruple 7s are on the package. Do you think my team was trying to tell me something? I think so. They were trying to say something to me, right? All that numerology. I shared that on Facebook yesterday. I thought it was kind of, it was unique. Let's put it that way. I've never had a package with that many triple numbers on it. Rochelle says you're such a good mom. Well, we try. Usually I'm working, right? And Paul says, no, let's go. I signed us up. And it's like, okay. But, he's the one who had we had to have a cart, And some people came by themselves with their dogs, so they had to do the cart, the dog, and take pictures. I just had to do Georgie. Paul took pictures and handled the cart. And it was kind of like, I want to say, a treasure hunt in a way. We had to find certain things in the store to be able to have, the dogs do a command. And so that's what we did. It was kind of, like I said, it was fun. I think it's a good outing for all of us. Yeah. Yeah, you saw the post, huh? Because Paul had to do a post to social media too. So it was fun. So, I don't know about you guys, but a couple people had contacted me about allergies. And I have to say that, mine kind of snuck up on me. I honestly didn't feel anything until, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before. Right in the middle of our live stream in the afternoon, my allergy symptoms decided to kick in. And I tell you what, yesterday afternoon was not quite as bad, but it was like, if I could have laid down, I would have, if I could have. And I was going to, except then Mom needed something. And so I had to kind of put the nap on pause until I could get done with what she needed. And so, with the allergy season, I threw in the towel the other day and took a Zyrtec. And I think it's because I really didn't notice the symptoms as I would normally do, because what I do is I use my neti pot, and so I do the nasal cavity flush thing, and I beef up the vitamin C, that kind of thing, and I didn't do that this year. It was like, oh, this is going to be an easy allergy season, and then it was like, wham. No, it's not. And so I was just wondering if anybody else was feeling the symptoms of that allergy season. Yeah, because the cards that we got today kind of speak to that a bit. I'm going to show you the first card. For those of you who don't know, we've been using. Oops. Let's see if I turn that right side up. The Sacred Path cards this month. By Jamie Sams. It was copyrighted. It's copyrighted 1990, but the information is still relevant. And the thing is that what it's teaching us is to do an expansion of the information. All right, I lost my place. I did that. Shoot. There's one. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, so here's the first card that came. It's coral. It's nurturing. Coral. And you usually see coral paired up with turquoise. Right? Coral and nurturing. So this is a coral necklace that's shown in the drawing, and it's about nurturing. Yeah, a lot of times what you'll see is, especially with Native American Southwestern jewelry, you'll see the coral and the turquoise matched up. And set in silver, sterling silver. Jamie Sams writes that the coral is from the seas of Mother Earth and is a symbol of the blood of our planet. As we have blood in our bodies, the waters of Mother Earth is considered to be her blood. Native Americans see that Mother Earth as a living being with consciousness and free will of her own. She is the true mother of all living things. Jamie Sam goes on to write that turquoise, on the other hand, is from the soil of the earth and represents the sky nation, which protects those who act as guardians of the earth. Turquoise is a male element which can be worn for protection. and turquoise protects the wearer from bad medicine. This protection is needed so that the nurturing can occur in a safe space. It is for this reason that turquoise and coral are worn together. The Mother Earth and Father Sky worked hand in hand to protect and nurture all creatures that are connected by the family ties of red blood. The silver setting of turquoise and coral jewelry carry the symbol of purity and truth. And so you have Grandmother Earth and Grandfather Sky, okay? With the coral being Grandmother Earth and turquoise being Grandfather Sky, set in silver, which represents purity. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. That's why you see the two paired so often in Southwestern Native American jewelry. Using coral can allow us to reconnect to the blood in our bodies and to the waters of Mother Earth, as our feelings and intuition are connected to the water clan. Okay, so Jamie Sams calls the four elements clans. All right, so the coral represents the spirit of water. And because the spirit of water also represents our emotions. And so when we're wearing coral, we're actually working with and supporting our emotions. All right, so she goes on to say that the spiritual aspect of understanding the body's need for air, food, physical activity, and sexual coupling is sacred. The gifts we are endowed with cannot be used properly unless we have a vehicle to accomplish those earth walk missions. Our physical body is that vehicle. The way we view life is dependent to a certain extent on how we feel and how we respect and care for our bodies. Yeah. And we've talked about this a couple times this week, haven't we? About caring for the physical body. Because it's our vehicle here to experience the physical life. Jamie goes on to say that red coral is one of the tools that will instill the faith of trust. Knowing we're nurtured by Mother Earth and that she will meet our needs is one method of destroying fear and effective healing. So it's about trusting that she is going to be there for us and always is. All nurturing comes from the ability to pay attention to our needs and to our feelings. If we don't know what we need, how can we nurture ourselves? Mother Earth can only supply comfort and nurturing if we're willing to listen. Then through these new understandings, our knowing system teaches us to trust that we are taken care of. If we're willing to nurture ourselves through connection to our Mother Earth, then we will learn how to nurture others. So here's another good way of saying that our connection to Grandmother Earth is really important. Really, really important. It helps us to build trust in her and, more importantly, in ourselves, right? And that when we trust, we're much better nurturers of ourselves and also others. And let's face it, and also turning around and nurturing Grandmother Earth when we do things like recycling and picking up trash and those kinds of things, from those small things to the much, much larger things, in the protection of her. She goes on to say that Mother Earth loves and nurtures all relations equally. This form of unconditional love is the basis of beauty. Beauty is a form of nurturing that is an accepted Native American understanding. To walk in beauty is to walk gently with a twinkle in your eye and loving thoughts in your mind and a smile in your heart. Coral also speaks of this message as the original intent of the mother of all things. Coral is a very special teacher who allows us to connect to our feelings, the planetary family, the watery nursery of creation. Coral helps us to listen with open hearts and to understand that to feel is to heal. That to feel is to heal. And that all comes from coral. And I was trying to think this morning, do I even have any coral turquoise jewelry left? I don't think I do. I did some giveaways many years ago, and I just never replaced them. So, yeah, coral. Makes you stop and think. Does anybody else have coral jewelry or any coral at all? Real coral, not the fake stuff that you put in aquariums and that kind of thing, but real coral. All right, so Jamie Sams writes about this card that if coral appeared in your cards today, you're being asked to look at the idea of nurturing. It may be time to nurture yourself or another. If you refuse to be nurtured, it may be time to drop the superhuman attitude before you get sick. Carl tells us that our bodies have needs too. Pay attention and be good to your body. She also writes that about the planetary family. She says, if you feel lonely or alone, it may be time to have a reunion with the other creatures that share the earth with you. Listen to all of our relation and she says, and cut I'm the only one attitude or refrain out of your thoughts. Coral always tells us to listen to our feelings. If you have been ignoring how you feel around certain people or how your body feels, Coral is insisting that you reconnect to those feelings and remember to feel is to heal. Feel is to heal. And I have a note down here, I should have probably dated it because I don't remember when I wrote this, but I have a note here about soul maturity means nurturing the inner child to feel safe, healing the traumas, and caring for the body. That's our first card. It's about nurturing. It's about our connection to our emotions. Yeah. All right. So the second card. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to read you the poem. And I love Jamie Sam's poems. Here's the poem about coral. It says, red coral, please remind me of the blood of all my kin. Each of us has feelings that reflect the joy within. May I nurture my own needs, then learn to share in turn the love that is my essence, the heart that in me burns. My favorite line out of that one is, each of us has feelings that reflect the joy within. Because we could have those feelings, right? We could, if we choose to. Yeah, here we go. All right, so the South Shield. Now, the South Shield that's a wolf there, sitting in the south. And the South Shield is all about innocence in the inner child. Innocence in the inner child. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the South medicine or spirit of the South, the South on the medicine wheel, it depends on which wheel that you're studying or living by. And many of them put the color red in the South. and that it's the place of the noonday sun. It's about where we are in our physical maturity, right? In the South, we're adolescents. We're still children. We're not infants. We're past toddlers. We're more like, 14 to the early 20s kind of thing in the South. And for many, they place the cedar in the South for that purification. And the element of fire resides in the South. Yeah. So you have a place of fire where, fire is all about purification, right? Transmutation. Okay. So in our day-to-day, whoops. Did I read that? No, I didn't tell you that part. Okay, so the South Shield is the shield of the child within, as well as the place where physical life begins. Red, the color of faith, is the color of the South, or sacred, the medicine wheel or the sacred hoop. From south to north, the good red road of our earth walk leads us to the experiences that give us understanding of living in harmony. Okay, and so she's talking about the medicine wheel that is actually used west of the Mississippi. Okay, because those indigenous people west of the Mississippi, they believe that we have the red road is also the road of all of your life lessons and all of your learning and all of that. Okay, yeah. And so in the tradition that I grew up in is that the red road does go from the south to the north, but it has more to do with all the life experiences that you've had on the other road, which is the blue road or the black road, going from east to west. And that's where all our life lessons are, and that's where we gather the wisdom by working through those life lessons, right? And so the wisdom that we've gathered from that experience is what we take on the red road with us. And the red road leads to our community. And so what we're doing is we're taking all of our gifts and skills and talents, our abilities, and we're taking it on the road. We're taking it on the good road and providing a service or services to our community. That's the what we call the good road, the red road. Julie says, I used to. I think I have a ring yet. It's talking about coral. I was asking if there's anybody in the chat that had coral as, either in their jewelry or perhaps in the decor. And I was saying something more than the fake coral that sometimes people use in their aquariums. Yeah. All right. So Jamie Sams goes, in our day-to-day lives, the adult self often forgets to allow the wonder of life's beauty to enter the heart space, and sarcasm takes over. It is during these times that the ego begins to fear the loss of self-esteem and wrecks the best laid plans for using creativity in a positive way. Fears can destroy the sparkling synchronicity of our internal timing and lay waste to the perfection of our beautiful uniqueness. The child of the South Shield knows this and is more than willing to allow others to share in the co-creation, using all talents to better the whole. So the inner child really likes to play and have playmates, right? And in that play is is an aspect of how we create. Yeah. So as adults, or those the young adults, right? That when we were growing up, and we'd have an older adult telling us, that we're flighty, or your head is always in the clouds, or talking about how we're always daydreaming, that kind of thing. And and basically forcing us into adulthood, right? Their version of adulthood, I should say. Yeah. But it was in that play, it was in that daydreaming. It was in that moment of being in your heart to play. And I don't know if many of us really remember even how to do that, really, because usually what happens is that we arrange playtime, right? We say, tomorrow I'm going to do such and such. And it's a very adult way of playing, where it is, we got parameters, and we have, what's going to be the end result, what is the intention of why we're playing, and what are we doing, and how are we doing it, and so we get very much in our heads over it. But as children, we really didn't have that big of a plan. I mean, do you remember that from your childhood? When you played, did you ever say, okay, on Thursday at 2:00, I'm going to meet with my friends and we're going to play? No. Our parents may have arranged something, the play dates for us, but all we did was show up to play. And sometimes the weather did dictate whether or not we were outside to play or inside playing, which drove my mom, because there was at least 3 of us in the house all the time. And so, yeah, kids get loud. Use your inside voice, right? Yeah. And so, the planning piece is the adult way of playing. And I suppose that's better than not playing at all, right? Yeah. How many of us are really spontaneous in play, moving from one activity to another without sitting down and having a committee and to do the pros and cons list, going from playing outside to coming inside and drawing or coloring, that kind of stuff. Makes me laugh. Makes me smile when I think about how, as adults, we contrive it, right? We design it. We schedule it in how we're going to play. All right. And so Jamie Sam goes on to say is that the seriousness of the adult cannot wreck your relationships with others if you honor the child's wisdom of balancing the sacredness with the irreverence. All things have their place and time. They allow laughter to bring balance to the sense of self. To know joy of using your body, developing the skill and grace that comes with play, allows the body to rid itself of tensions of the adult world. In this way, it's easier to trust yourself to walk in balance. The skill of knowing what your body can do, what its needs are, and how to give it the freedom of its own expression in the second path to having faith in yourself. Yeah. And talking about trust, that that to see the value of trust. Know that you may always trust everything living to be exactly who and what they are at any given moment. So, it's like, I mean, I watched George, and how happy he is and just rolling around on the floor. He's a dog and he enjoys being a dog. And he doesn't want to be any other dog. He just wants to be him, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the ring. And Rochelle is saying, I can be. Okay. All right. I don't know what that means. Got to expand just a little bit, Rochelle. I'm not sure exactly what you were referring to. So balancing the body is the key to observing the truth in all things. So when we're in balance, it means that we can discern, right? We can actually sense the truth because we're grounded and we're centered, we're balanced. It does make life more enjoyable, that's for sure. All right. So Jamie Sam says that when we can destroy the illusion of who you are to others, and you can be yourself, you will have restored your innocence. So when we get to the point where we really don't care what other people think, that the threat of, right, not being a part of something, maybe going against some group's norms, because you want to try or do something differently, that it's okay not to be in the cool group. It's okay not to be. So when you can destroy the illusion of who you are to others and be yourself, you will have restored your innocence. Because we still have it. We still have our innocence. It may be hidden or buried, but it's still there. Oh, spontaneous. Thank you, Rochelle, for clarifying that. You can be spontaneous. Hi, Deborah. It's good to see you in the chat. She goes, I just joined in and I'm trying to catch up. Okay. So the first card, I can show you that. Okay. Hang on. Was coral. And coral is all about nurturing. And basically it's about, for today anyway, it's about nurturing ourselves. Okay. Because coral represents the spirit of water, the medicine of water, the element of water. And water is also represents our emotions. Okay. And the second card that came is the South Shield. And that's all about our inner child and innocence. Yeah. South Shield. Okay, so Jamie Sams goes on to write that you need not alter that innocence and childlike precociousness for anyone. It is a gift for others to see that reflection so that they may drop their masks of fear and see that they also hold that beauty in their inner child. Through knowing the child within, you will restore faith in life and capture the wonder of being alive. The South Shield card marks a time of returning to the childlike parts of the self that need no support from the ego. Look at how you can be humble in the present situation. Balance work with play and sacredness with the irreverence. In other words, you'll need to lighten up and drop the uptight parts of the self before you can continue. This may be a time to get some physical exercise or loosen up the tight muscles, or to laugh to loosen up your sophisticated garbage. Oh my, right? Stop holding on so tight and remember how to trust. How can you trust anything or anyone when the image in the mirror is not really you? Now that's pretty profound. I'm going to say that again. How can you trust anything or anyone when the image in the mirror isn't really you? So if you're wearing these masks or these, pretending to be someone or something you're not so that other people will have certain thoughts about you, that's not your authentic self, right? And so what she's saying is that if you can't be honest with yourself and truthful with yourself, how can you allow someone else's truth to come in? Now, see, that makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. That if we can't be truthful with ourselves, right? And in that truth, our inner child can come out and play. Yeah. Because there's also an element of safety there, right? Because if you're truthful with yourself and you can trust yourself, then that aspect of you, that inner child within, can trust you, the conscious self, to keep them safe, right? In all cases, the South Shield card insists that the child within is trying to teach you something about how to handle the situation. Listening and trusting the little tyke might restore some of the lost magic of life. Remember, playfulness heals a world of woes. The more serious you take the game, the less chance any of us have of winning. The South Shield. So when you bring these two together, right? Coral and South Shield. Coral is about nurturing, and the South Shield is all about our inner child and our innocence. So how can we nurture ourselves, our inner child? How can we bring about the feeling of being safe for our inner child, right? As the conscious part of us, our mental mind is available to us. And when we balance that out with our heart, we can be in a position that's balanced and grounded and coming from a place of love. And the inner child can bring joy, right? That sense of joy. So nurturing our inner child, preserving our innocence when we do so. How do we get there? How can we provide that nurturing to that aspect of ourselves, of that child? How do we get there? I think for me anyway, it starts with honesty, right? To be honest with yourself And it also is all about healing those aspects of those traumas, the emotional and mental traumas that we all have experienced in one way or another, and is to heal that part, whether it's about forgiveness or releasing. Yeah. And sometimes, a good friend of mine has her own business, right? She had done some work for another person, and that other person either didn't get the first invoice or just forgot to pay it, right? And so my friend had to, at first, she was just going to let it go and say, you know what? Um, I don't want the conflict. I don't want to have to deal with and confront this person about payment. But she did. She did. She sent out the second invoice with a message saying, I'm not sure if this didn't get to you, but I haven't received payment. And if you have any troubles with making the payment, please contact me, right? Yeah. She said her inner child was just quaking. It's like, expecting, a verbal confrontation kind of thing. And she had grown up in a home where her mom and dad, didn't get along very well. And so the idea of conflict just, she doesn't do it, wouldn't do it. Until that day when she sent out that second invoice, risking a confrontation, right? And it turned out fine. She got paid, right? And so, there's a lot of things, a lot of levels to that one. But she trusted. She trusted. She had the ability to keep her inner child safe, even though she was addressed something that possibly could have been more of a confrontation, right? So yeah, keeping our inner child safe. These two cards. How do we nurture that part of us? I'm just sitting here thinking about what is reasonable, right? What's reasonable when we're talking about nurturing our inner child? Because in many ways, so many of us, we do have to do the adult thing. I still have a magazine to work on this afternoon. I still have a book to come that we're doing a special sale on. And so, there's things that we all have to get done, right? But our inner child needs time to play. And when our inner child gets the chance to play, that releases a whole lot of tension that we've been holding in our bodies. So, what is reasonable for you to do to have playtime? What's reasonable? What's reasonable for me, because I also have a mom here, right, is to get out another jigsaw puzzle and set up the table that we use for that. And then when I take a break, I can go and help, right? And I'm actually playing then with my mom's inner child. So, that is I can easily do. Yeah. Traveling to Great America or to Florida or to California, to go to Disneyland or wherever, right? One of those places. I know that's not feasible right now, but I can do other things. I can do other things that is playful. And so here we go. Here's that adult part of us, right? That's planning the play date, scheduling the play date. But like I said, I think that maybe that's what's more important that is that we actually get the time to play. That's the bottom line. When Polly Jo talks about inner child, I don't know if you've heard her say this, but she says stuff like, taking a short break and taking sidewalk chalk out and do a drawing on the sidewalk. To get outside too, right? Or to take in a movie, a children's movie. Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is that I think we need to take into the fullness of it, the fullness of the message here, right? Is how can we nurture our inner child, allowing that playtime, allowing to create a safe space for that aspect of us, so that they feel safe, they feel secure. Even though you may not have had that yourself as a child, you can create that for yourself and your inner child. What do you think? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Rachel's saying, yes, very profound. It's great talk. It really gives us something to think about, doesn't it? Something to really consider. To plan something that is fun and you can just relax into it, right? Something that doesn't take a whole lot of planning. Something that is just on this side of spontaneous fun, right? Now, I have to say that Paul and I, especially on the weekends, when we make dinners, because we usually help each other in the kitchen. We're both working on an aspect of the meal, right? And we always will have like 70s music playing, and and we're goofing around. We're having fun making this meal. So it's not like we're doing something extra, right? It's just taking what we are doing and having fun with it. Yeah. And Paul gets pretty creative with the soups that he makes and that kind of thing. And so, he says that he says, look out, the inner child's coming out. Or he used to say, at home, he says the inner child runs the joint, right? Yeah. And he was in the military at the time. The inner child runs the joint when he's home. So, yeah, it's something to think about, something to consider. Yeah. And share with us if you would like to, your way of allowing your inner child time, nurturing that aspect of you, right? Yeah. And one of these days, there'll be a bunch of us here at Star Nations Academy, and our inner child is going to have some fun. We'll put some music on and dance, or maybe we'll set up the tables and we'll get some coloring books out and that sort of thing, right? Yeah. Rochelle is saying, Deb and I go on road trips. Takes anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. Good times. That's fun. Road trips. Oh, yeah. Road trip food. Road trip food. Do you guys have your own road trip food? We do. We have cherry Swizzlers and usually something chocolate. and popcorn. Yeah. Usually nothing really healthy. Yeah. So, whatever you guys felt, what felt right to you, what felt good to you, what resonated with you with the information today, my suggestion is to embrace it and see feel how the energy is unfolding around you today and where this information could be helpful. And I always say, and notice if you're a direct participant or if you're bearing witness, because both are good. We learn a lot from both. And if you're the witness, oh my goodness, that is such a honored position to be in. When you bear witness to somebody who is utilizing the energy directly, right? Because you get to tell their story. You get to help them to expand that energy, and yeah, that's good. It's a good position to be in. But if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. No worries. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings, especially mine, by saying, that didn't get that one. It's okay. There's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow's cards. Yeah. So next week, shows that are coming up. Polly Jo is on the mend. She's healing. She's got a couple things she's got to get done first. And so her shows will be replays this week. She was supposed to be here this coming weekend to teach a class. We're going to push that back in June, and we're looking at the weekend of, I think it's the 17th. I know it's Father's Day weekend, whatever weekend that is. And so we'll get that information out to you guys so that those of you who can now make it to the class, we have a different date set up, and we'll get that out to you. I'm hoping we'll be able to get that out tomorrow. Cross the fingers, because I have a magazine to work on yet too. And so let's see, her shows will have replays. That's Tuesday at noon, chakra sessions, and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time is Soul Connections. Those two will be replays, okay? Because the meditation is still really good. We just picked out a couple that we thought that you would like to do again, okay? And then my show is we're doing the Unity Breath guided meditation on my show on Tuesday night. That's April 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Now, we haven't done the Unity Breath together in over a month, so it's going to be a special one. Yeah. And there was one other thing I was going to do. Let's see. Oh, and on Thursday is Spiritual Mysteries of Life with Constance Shiravater Connie, one of our elders here at Star Nations. Her show is on at 8 p.m. Eastern time. She had to move her show. She really wanted to do this. She wanted to move her show to the first Thursday of the month and to do an evening show rather than a morning show. And so her show is now on at 8 p.m. Eastern time on the first Thursday of every month. So her show is coming up, and she's calling it Spirit's Choice. So we'll get to hear about what Spirit chooses to speak about on Thursday. Yeah. And so what's coming up, other things really quickly, is that we have total tarot immersion weekend coming up at the end of this month with Julie Hedges right here at Star Nations Academy. If you are someone who would like to learn how to use the tarot cards, that ancient language, and just a beginner, it's a good class. Julie is a really good teacher when it comes to, the beginnings. And but if you're intermediate and user of the tarot, but you want to strengthen your skills, expand your skills, because you're bringing your cards with you, it's going to be a hands-on weekend. And the immersion, I was telling her, I said, that sounds like when you're learning a foreign language, or a different language, I should say. And she goes, that's basically it, is because The tarot is in a language just like astrology is in a language. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So that's coming up May 31st to June 2nd. And you can get that information out there on the website, starnations.org. And so if you want to join us, it's going to be a great, great weekend. There was one other thing. I don't remember. Oh, I know what it is. I know. Flash in front of me was a dolphin. Thank you, dolphin. Is that our newest, Star Nations Publishing's newest author is Madonna DePaulo. And her book we just published, and we're running a special, an author-signed book special from April 22nd to May 5th. And that is the book is retails at $18.99, but we have it on sale right now for $15.99 with free shipping within the United States. So if you're interested in a book all about dolphins and whales, the cetaceans, and our relationship to them, it's a children's book and it's got fabulous illustrations in it. Yeah, go to the website, starnations.org, go to the publishing page, and you'll see the information right there all about Madonna's new book. Okay? All right. So with that, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Let your inner child out and play. Go play. Go outside and play. Isn't that what our moms used to always say to us? Let's go outside and play. Yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for the daily live stream and group card draw. Okay. With that, Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Bye, everybody. I love you.